Of the 310 million people in the United States, 70% are of voting age. Yet at best, only 40% of the people turn out to vote. And since the autocrat and authoritarian parties split everything about evenly, that means that their support is little more than 20% of the population. So, more eligible voters actually stay home than vote for the winning candidate. And the numbers are far more dismal for off-year state and local elections. But worse than that, only 8% of the people pick the candidates in the primaries, which, if you recall, is about the approval rating for Congress. But the most disheartening thing of all is that the vast majority of the campaign contributions come from only 1% of the population. It's hard to call numbers like that a Republican form of government. Most of the voters I've met care very much about what's going on in the country, but the dominant parties don't represent their points of view, and they know they can't compete with the kind of money that the parties, corporations, millionaires, and lobbyists will throw up against their desired candidates. They also know that it's virtually impossible to unseat incumbents. Of the 468 seats in Congress that we hold elections for every 2 years, only a handful, maybe 5%, are considered to be in play, and mostly because the incumbent is retiring or has died. It's just as bad in state and local elections, which is why term limits have sprung up all around the country. When incumbents finally retire, there are usually cushy corporate or lobbying jobs waiting for them. If not, their pensions and benefits go way beyond what most Americans can expect. And there's probably a portfolio that has been enhanced by insider information that would be illegal for anyone else to have profited on. How can we expect people like this to actually represent us? Some in Congress are trying to solve some of these problems, but they just don't go far enough. Representative McGovern and Senators Sanders, Udall, and others have introduced amendments that would reverse the corporate united decision, but that would only return us to McCain-Feingold that really wasn't working either. Dennis Kucinich is pushing an amendment for public financing of federal elections, but it doesn't affect state elections, which would become the new battleground, and so would the petitioning process. Public financing hasn't improved voter turnout or unseated any more incumbents. In fact, it can give them an advantage. And term limits still leave politicians looking for money while they're in office because they're still eligible for other offices. These attempts are half measures and will leave us playing whack-a-mole for years to come. Thomas Jefferson said we should have a revolution every 20 years, and we're long overdue. If we're going to go through the trouble of amending the Constitution, we should do it in a way that is meaningful and effective. And the Rebellious Amendment does just that. It is written in a way that will withstand court challenges and unifies all campaign finance laws throughout the United States, while still allowing for public financing. It keeps the people involved in the campaign process and makes financial contributions from outsiders illegal, and limits the amount of money that anyone can give to $500. An amount that is more in line with what the average American can afford. The Rebellious makes even millionaires dependent on their constituents for financing and limits their contributions to 1 year's salary. It ends incumbency and makes campaigning while in office impractical. And it will prevent politicians from profiting from insider information and closes the swinging door between government and industry. And finally, the Rebellious reverses the corporate united decision and any precedent set by it. The Rebellious Amendment levels the playing field for everyone. It gives no advantage to any group or individual and allows everyone the opportunity to have their voices heard. It will keep our representatives working for us the entire length of their terms and allows us to use reason in the decisions that we make. Passing the Rebellious Amendment will not be easy. There are billions of dollars that stand between you and its passage. And it will take a true rebellion of millions. And that means action on your part. So be rebellious. Sign the Rebellious.